One of the most famous pieces of art, I think, in the entire Western canon of art history is probably Michelangelo's famous sculpture of David. What is it about this wonderful and enigmatic character that captures people's imaginations? We hear all about David in the books of Samuel. And this summer, in our annual Adult Vacation Bible School, St. John's Cathedral is going to explore the stories of David, particularly as they appear in 2 Samuel, where David comes and takes up the mantle of kingship from his predecessor, Saul. To help us understand the story of David as we read him in 2 Samuel, we have 4 outstanding presenters to be with us in the coming weeks. This Sunday, June the 20th, we have the distinct pleasure and opportunity of welcoming Professor Robert Alter, who is not only one of the foremost biblical scholars in our generation, but also has insights into literature and fiction. He's an emeritus professor at the University of Berkeley and has been one of the greatest Bible scholars that we know in our time. On July the 4th, we welcome Marty Strucy. Professor Strucy is going to be talking about the women in the biblical story, and particularly David's wife, Michal. Then we move on July 11th to welcoming Professor Erin Darby. And Erin is an archaeologist, and she's going to be talking to us about what did Jerusalem look like in the year 1100. What is the archaeology of the Holy Land that we know from the time of David? What can we learn or unearth or excavate about the Holy Land to help us understand David? And the title of her talk is Excavating David: The United Monarchy and the Archaeology of Israel. On our final week, which is the 25th of July, we're welcoming Professor Stephen McKenzie, and Stephen is going to be giving us an overview of the story of David. He's written an excellent book called David, a Biography from Oxford University Press, and Stephen will be with us to sort of help us understand all of the events of David's life in the context of the whole story of 2 Samuel. So we're not going to be doing Vacation Bible School crafts. If you grew up in the church, you might have been familiar with those. We are going to dive deep into elements of this story. We're not going to go phrase by phrase or chapter by chapter, but we're going to be looking at highlights in this book that are sometimes challenging, sometimes require our courage to confront texts that appear to us in our scriptures about which we may be uncomfortable, and yet come to know this character who God exalted in some way, who was also the ancestor of Jesus himself. So come join us Sunday mornings at 10:30 at St. John's Cathedral.